Hey everyone, welcome to our podcast. This is our fourth episode number 4. And now we have a name. This is How's the Weather with Ina and Heather.
We're working on the jingle. We're not quite there yet.
Well, is doing the job for now, but at least we've got a name. So, Heather, I'd like to know more about it. Like, how did you come? How did you end up finding this name? How's the weather with Ina and Heather?
Well, for starters, I love a good mnemonic, and a rhyming word is great.
Awesome.
So, Heather has a lot of good rhyming words. You've got weather, leather, together.
I love the rhyme.
The opportunities are really endless. And I had been watching a Mind Valley tutorial class.
Have you?
Of course, I'm loving them. And this one woman, part of her practice, and it was about feeling your feelings and being in touch with your authentic self. Her question that she asked people when she saw them, whether they were new or like people in her life, was, how is your spirit?
Mm-hmm.
And so in that, people were able to talk about how they were actually feeling, because when you ask someone, how are you, you get fine. Like, we're good. It's fine. I'm all right. And
Okay,
so when you,
not bad.
whatever, it's fine. We're getting through it. And so with this spirit question, it actually takes it in a little bit, so someone can actually tell you how they're feeling.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of equating that to myself as, I'm very emotional with the weather. When it's sunny, I'm happy. When it's cold, I'm blue. And so I think that, and I don't know if other people do this, but I do for myself, is gauge how people are feeling based on their feelings about the weather, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because some people on a sunny day can be, oh, great, it's so sunny, I love it. Or I hate this sun, it's an awful day, not happy, blah. And so it gives you that, it gives you that out to explain what you're feeling. Some people love a winter day, some people love the rain, and you can feel either way about any situation. But this gives you like a third party to talk about.
Yeah.
And so I thought that would be a really nice way to enter our conversations.
Yeah.
Because we're in different areas and we don't get to see each other every day. And so by talking about the weather, we can learn a little bit about climate and also see how we feel.
Yeah, and I think this is something students in general, they should start learning about, how to interact, talking about the weather. Because in general, I had the feeling, at least when I was living in England, every time I met someone new, they were always talking about the weather. I don't know, in Brazil, I think we have some of it, but not with the same intensity, People are really into weather in different countries. And if I was going to guess, maybe it's because, the weather in England, it's pretty shit all the time. So whenever we have like a bit of sunshine, people are already like, oh my God, have you seen the weather? Like, like sometimes it was like 15 degrees Celsius, which is cold here, trust me. And people were going to Hyde Park with their bikinis. And I was like, come on, I'm wearing a scarf. What are you doing?
I'm wearing a scarf.
Yeah, like, it's so interesting, this thing about the weather. We have loads to talk about it. And I think in general, people do talk about the weather abroad, outside Brazil. And that's something people really need to start, getting used to. So yeah, this is why I also think this is important for us to always be talking about the weather. Plus, our environment is so different. We're always gonna have something to say about the weather. And yeah, I think it's great. Plus, the rhyme, like Heather, weather, like, come on, it's perfect.
You really can't go wrong with that one.
Absolutely. And I love every time we have ER at the end, it reminds me of the British accent. We have weather, Heather, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, at the end. So yeah, it helps me to practice my British accent too.
Because the North American accent is real hard on the R.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love it too. I mean, I love the differences, but anyways. So yeah, before you tell me about how is the weather in Canada, I just wanted to remind the students that next week on Monday, October 12th, we are going to have a new group. It's going to be our T17. Can you imagine 17 groups so far in 3 years? Like sometimes I look back and I'm like, I can't believe I've built all this, it's been so much. And Heather, you've been part of this. So I'm so happy and so honored, to have you being part of this and having the students, being closer to you as well. They love you, you know that. And yeah, I just wanted to invite them, like if they really want to be part of our community, that's the last opportunity of the year. So just go for inamara.com/pré-matrícula, which is pre-enrollment.
Okay.
So they can already, leave their emails and understand all the informations that are, important for them to understand more about the method, about how things work. So, Jana, if you can please leave the link for them. Just let them know the correct link. And on Monday, I'll be there waiting for you on our next group. And Heather is going to be there with us as well.
It's true.
Right?
Now, tell me, Ina, in this course is the last course of the year. Does this mean if students sign up on Monday, they will be speaking English in full sentences by next year?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have loads of students here that are live now, following our conversation. They can tell by themselves. I mean, students from the last group, T16, which was like 2 months ago, they're doing super well. They're just like, I'm so impressed, really. I'm so impressed. Of course, it needs, to have the effort. It's not magic, it's hard work there. I make them do stuff, they have your challenges. They have live classes with native teachers, with me, with other teachers. We are constantly practicing our listening. So it's inevitable. If you do what it has to be done, it's inevitable, you're getting there.
That's why you follow the program. And so just to clarify for anyone who hasn't taken the course and isn't enrolled, when you get there, this is you don't speak any English when you show up.
Say again. I was drinking my water and I cannot think two things at the same time.
So these are students who come in and they have never spoken English before.
Some of them, like they are like pretty on the elementary level. Some of them, they already have some information, but they're willing to move forward, to grow. But because of the method that I use, using chunks and patterns, I'm able to help, even if you don't have any idea about English, or even if you have some idea, I can help. It doesn't depend of where you are, because we are basically understanding chunks and patterns and practicing our listening. So it's a different way, it's a different method. So we are not going through, that very, old style, like grammar, understanding present, and then present continuous, and then introducing yourself, colors, numbers. We're not going through that shit. We're doing real things.
Boring. That's what Duolingo teaches you. I'm learning Portuguese.
That's why you cannot move. So this is why you understand now what's going on, right? If you keep doing colors and numbers, I mean, how many times we talk about colors and numbers and animals in our normal conversation?
No, but here's the thing. Your sister posted something one time and there was a dog on a house. And I was like, okay, I know these words.
It's true. And
so I tried to message her being like, is that a dog on a house?
Already some basic vocabulary, didn't you, in Portuguese?
And she was just like, question mark. It's not my dog.
It's a dog. It's a house. Not my dog. Not my house. But at least you got the context. But this is what I'm saying. Like, depending on the method you use, you can understand like simple words. But I want you to move forward. I don't want you to just be on simple vocabulary. There's so much more to talk about, like the weather, for example.
And that's why you should learn English, for no other reason than just to talk about the weather with people.
Absolutely. So, Heather, how is the weather?
Oh, girl. I tell you.
I know it's fall. I can see on your Instagram stories beautiful leaves all over. Mm-hmm. And it's so nice. I mean, I wish we've been through this before. Yeah, but we don't have 4 seasons. Like, I cannot see the difference. Like last week, we just started spring and I was boiling, really. I was melting. It was like I was desperate. It was just really, really difficult to breathe, Mm-hmm. And it was just too hot. So we didn't even have proper winter. And it's so beautiful to see, how your seasons are going, slowly and fading, just tell us more about it.
Talk to me in December when I'm miserable. Well, it's getting colder. So now we're, jackets and scarves, maybe some mittens in the evening. Mm-hmm. And I went for a socially distanced walk with a friend of mine last night. And, we were touring around and I realized that winter is coming. I forget every year. And so, we were sitting at the park and it got to be a little bit later. And then, we have to leave because it's too cold. It's too cold to hang out outside. And
how cold?
I think it went down to about maybe 2
degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
That's freaking cold.
I know, and I didn't wear a coat, so like it was time to shut her down.
Are you serious? Were you without a coat at 2 degrees Celsius?
Well, I had a sweater, like a hoodie.
That's not enough. I can't understand how it works. Trust me, I would wear a coat if it was like 12 degrees.
Yeah.
You too, but anyways, it didn't bother.
It wasn't bad. The thing is, like, once the sun goes down, then you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You see, this is something that I missed, when I was in England, and I was constantly telling my friends, like, even when it was summer, let's say July, August, you can get like pretty warm temperatures, like 20 something, like it's already pretty high for England. But even like if it was like a quite warm day, once the evening started coming and, the sun was down, it was impossible to be without a jacket, without coat. You cannot be like just like sleeveless in the evening, even if it's summer. And this is something I have here. Like this past week, it was nighttime. And I checked on my phone. It was 32 degrees nighttime. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is like sometimes it's okay. It's nice. Like you go outside just with your flip flops. If it's a nice breeze, but not constantly. But anyways, this was something I was missing because I could never go out in the evening without a jacket in England, even if it was summer. And this was, something so simple. I would never miss it. I would never have this idea, that this is something nice. Just living in Brazil, I had to go there, live there, and see the difference. And then, okay, I actually miss those warm nights,
Yeah, a little perspective on weather.
Yeah,
if you will. And so, I mean, it's interesting now to see because, as I was talking to you earlier, with our lockdown, people are very, very pretentious about it, especially in Ottawa because it's a government city. So a lot of people work for the government, they have to go to the office, etc. And so, you walk around at night and everybody is still like super spaced out and it looks like everyone's just on a little mission to take a walk and then go back home. Like people aren't lounging anywhere.
Oh, and that's nice to see because in Brazil, in general, as I see on the news, people are not really respecting it. Like I can see crowds, people are not really conscious about it. Not everybody, of course, but I can see sometimes, even in my city, it's not a huge city. Sometimes I'm at highway, the main street, and there are, little crowds around. I'm like, what are they doing? Just like some space, everybody. But so it's nice to see that in Canada there is, this awareness about everything that's going on.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see how it's playing out, especially in Ontario, because Ottawa is part of a province called Ontario.
Yeah.
And so it's one of the bigger provinces and has, I want to say, a lot of people, but I mean, Sao Paulo has more than all of Canada. So
okay, some people.
Context is key. But you'll see on the news that they put up in a little bubble how many cases they find in each province every day. And they're looking at all these trends and they're saying, if we don't start cutting this down, we're not going to get to Christmas.
What do you mean you're not going to get to Christmas? In what way?
Well, in the sense that if we do another like sort of isolation period, a lockdown and put on restrictions, pull back freedoms.
Yeah.
Then we will hopefully curve the second wave, and then people will be able to see their families for Christmas. Otherwise, it's Thanksgiving this weekend in Canada, and American Thanksgiving is in November. So our Thanksgiving, they're urging people to stay home and, not visit family members. Retirement homes are kind of in a lockdown.
Wow. I didn't know that. So see, this is why it's good to get news from, a different source. Because sometimes if you just watch the news, you get, it's very strict. But it's good to know from you that, this is the second wave. It's kind of happening in Canada, because in Brazil, I don't know, this is a real guess here, right? I might be wrong, but I have the feeling that people are not that concerned. They're like a few weeks ago, like maybe even this week, if you see pictures, about in the beach or on the beach or something, you can see people are not really following the government instructions. So it's inevitable. The second wave is going to happen, because I can see it's already happening in many countries. Spain, Italy, they are all, coming back to what was happening at the beginning of the year. So if in Canada, you guys are with this kind of, consciousness and care, like, come on, guys, let's wake up. It's going to happen here again. Like, we haven't been through this yet. Like, we haven't finished it. Like, it's still happening. So
I know. But I mean, I say that many people are trying. I think there's also people who are not. In the last month, there was this group of people who like fast cars. Is all I can say. Like they like to drag race cars in places.
I can figure it.
All right. And so they, young people probably in their 20s, and they just wanted to go out and drive their cars really fast and like fraternize and what have you.
Yeah,
and
wild.
So they did, and cases went up in that area, and the police came in and broke it all up and sent everybody home. Mm-hmm. And the premier of Ontario, so he's each province has their own kind of guy in charge. And he was like, guys, like, I love cars too. And, like, I would have been there, but this is serious business. Like, what are you thinking?
Exactly.
And so he said something like, if there wasn't such a backup for MRIs, like a brain scan, he's like, I would send you all in for one.
So necessary.
Yeah. But I mean, he made his point, because he's kind of known as a bit of a party guy. Yeah. And during this pandemic, he's really locked down and been like, no, we got to save people and work on this. So it's really interesting to see his change in character when things are serious.
Yeah, when I was talking to my sister-in-law this week, she was saying, isn't it ironic, just like your Canadian singer, Alanis would say. I love that song, by the way, but it would be very ironic, if, for example, like, we've been really looking after ourselves. Like, I'm at home for the past months, I'm really being as careful as possible, not being in contact with many people, just when it's really, really necessary, and with all the cautious. But she's my neighbor, right? And she's got a new baby. The baby is like 1 year old, and we are both like really, really careful, so we can be able to see each other, and I can go to her house and see the baby and stuff. And she said, Ina, I would be really mad, like if we do something, for example, we go for a night, like together with, some people, some friends, and then we get sick or something. I would be really mad, because we've been doing everything so careful for the past few months, and then just like one moment that we kind of slip it, then we get sick. Like, come on, I've been doing it so well for so many weeks.
I know.
This is why we don't want to let it loose, because we've been through this for so many months already. Like, come on. If I get sick, I'll be really mad at it. So.
I know. I've been staying home and isolating, not going out and eating or anything. Yeah. And I mean, it's hard, especially in the summer, for us to not do things. Mm-hmm. Where I live right now is on a street that's full of bars and restaurants. It's one of the like strips in Ottawa where you would go for drinks and a night out. And so when I moved here, I was like, this is so great. I'll be able to just pop up the street, do whatever, and just strut home. And I moved here at the very beginning of March, the same day I got home from Brazil. Mm-hmm. And then everything closed.
I remember when you were here in Brazil, and you were so excited because you were just about to move. Actually, you moved the day you came back to Canada, or the day after, something like that. It was like really the same day?
It ended up being the same day. I left Brazil on the 29th of March, right. And then I was supposed to arrive in Canada on the 29th of March. Yeah, and then my flights messed up, because I don't know why anyone uses Air Canada. And I had to spend the night in Montreal, and I was not pleased. I was not pleased at all. And anyways, so the next
memory.
Yeah, I was just thinking about how hard it was for them to treat me like a person. Yeah. You have to cry.
No Air Canada next time. Okay.
Yeah. And if you need something, just go straight to tears, because no one will listen to you. Straight to tears. At one point, a woman told me to take a bus. A flight attendant at the gate was like, if you need to get home so bad, take a bus. I'm standing at an airport with a ticket.
No, I want a flight. This says flight. Flight means to fly.
May I please have your badge number so that I may submit you to the Customer Service Hall of Fame?
Oh gosh. Yeah, anyway. you were desperate at that moment. I remember now.
Yeah, it wasn't a good day. So anyways, I got back to Ottawa on the 1st of March, and then my brother picked me up at the airport, and we drove to my apartment, put everything in a truck, and moved it here.
Yeah. So you didn't even have time to do all your moving properly. And this is the thing, like you were very excited with this new area. You're going to see, there is a lovely canal, right? A little river close by, right? And you're probably very excited to live in the area, and then suddenly everything's closed. So it might be very disappointing. Cool. I imagine. But you have a nice view though.
I do. I have a view of the canal, the Rideau Canal, if anyone's curious. It did work out great in a sense that I got to be here for the lockdown, because now every day, even though you wake up and you can't leave, I get to look out at this beautiful sunshine.
Yeah.
And
not bad.
So that kind of worked out for me.
No, you did really well.
It's funny in a sense too, because you know how we do say everything happens for a reason. And so back before, this was probably in like November, December, when I was planning to come to Brazil. And I also booked the move. And there was about a week and a half in the middle where I was trying to decide if I should move one of them. Like if I should change my trip to Brazil, or if I should, organize it differently, because that month was stressful because I had to pack up everything I owned before I left for 2 weeks. It worked out. But so I remember I was talking to a guy that I worked with, and we were kind of working out the scenarios and how you could do this, and if you could change the flight, how much it would cost and all whatever. And I eventually realized, like, you know what, this is just the way it has to happen, and we're going to live with it. And that was exactly the way it had to happen, because if I had have moved my trip after I moved apartments, I wouldn't have been able to go.
Exactly.
Right?
I didn't think about this perspective. Absolutely. Can you imagine? You would never make it to Brazil.
Yeah.
This is so incredible. I didn't think about this from this perspective. Awesome. Awesome. So what do you think about coincidences? What do you think about life purpose and our paths? Do you want to start being philosophical?
Hey, yeah, I think it's ready. We're time. But I do think, that that's something that had to happen. We were going to get to this point eventually, and we needed to kickstart it with like a visit in person, because we hadn't seen each other in 10 years. And even though social media is amazing, if you're not in contact with people and you can't sit and see their vibe at least every 10 years, it's hard to connect.
At least every 10 years. Absolutely. I think if it's like 10 years, like max, you need to make something about it.
Yeah, you gotta go see that person face to face, readjust your vibes.
But you see, like, Heather, things changed, really changed, because last year, like, I was replying to your messages, I don't know, 1 or 2 weeks after you sent me, and you the same. Like, we were not, like, I wanted to talk to you, I wanted to make this space, but things start to happen. And then, like, when I see, like, oh my God, I haven't replied to Heather yet. No, like, I really wanted. And I believe you're the same. So we were not doing it properly. Like, we really wanted. Sometimes we were sending videos to each other. But then we were like, you know what? 10 years, like, we've reached the max here. So let's see each other and make this happen. And now, like, today is our 4th episode, and now we have to catch up like every week, even though we speak to each other, during the week and stuff. Like, here, it's like, yes, we are catching up. We are, how can I say?
Well, it's quality time. It's quality time, really.
Yeah, like bringing, the effort for the friendship and for, like, I want to know what's going on with you. I want to, have the information, like, how is Heather? What's going on in her life, But if we don't have, like, every week, honestly, I talk more to you than, like, my mother or my sister or even close friends, like, from my city, like. But because we have, like, every Friday we have to talk, then we have this. And you know what? I think every friendship should have, especially now, because we don't have, like, oh, someone's birthday. Yeah, I'm going to see her soon. It's someone's birthday, or some, social events. We don't have that. So we need to set a day and time every week if you want to really catch up with people. I think this is the new normal.
I think so too. And I think that's it's a good scheduling thing. Like, schedule your friends into your life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Because it's so easy to get bogged down with other texts and emails, and certain things are coming in, and you don't always have time to send the message back right away. Or I've read it and I'm like, oh, I got to think about that for a second. And then 2 days later, I didn't answer. And
no, it doesn't work. Trust me.
Didn't answer me back because I did not send the message.
I have so many numbers already. Like, I have numbers for our WhatsApp transmission. I have another one for the students to give them the support. And I have my private number. But I think my private number, like, I need another private number now, because I cannot cope with so many messages on my WhatsApp. Like, sometimes, like, I can see you sent me a message, like, if I really scroll it, and oh, there's something here from Heather, or someone that I was maybe expecting a message or something. Like, it's just too much. So I need the 4th number. Like, it's, we came to this point. I can't believe it.
Yeah. That's a hilarious problem to have. I'm just too popular. I need a new phone number for my favorite people.
No, trust me. trust me, I don't think this is fun. Like it's a lot to handle, and you need new skills for that. Like nobody taught me like how to handle more than 3 numbers on WhatsApp. Like I have to teach myself, and trust me, it's not fun because I know people are expecting responses. I don't want to leave people without responses, but sometimes it's just not physically possible. Can you hear the noise? Is it too noisy because it started to rain now?
No.
You can hear?
Oh, wait.
Maybe.
Yeah, I can.
Can you? Okay, I hope it doesn't disturb our conversation, because once it starts to rain, it can get really loud. Anyways, if it's too, and there are thunders, so if it's too loud, just let me know. Well, you wanted to talk about weather?
You're kind of like, yeah.
Let's do it properly,
Yeah.
We have thunders at the background, so anyways. So apart from that, I wanted to know more about what's going on with your learning process this week. You've been through some classes this week, and I'm really curious to know about what you've learned. So, what happened?
Well,
Is there learnings?
Well, I took it upon myself to complete our breathing challenge.
So how was it? Because I confess I haven't been through that.
No,
Too many other challenges.
I reminded her every day to go breathe for a minute. Sometimes I sent a video.
She did.
And that's normally when I was doing my breathing exercise. So what did I learn? I will say that it was harder to do than I thought it was going to be.
Really? What, the breathing or learning things in general?
The breathing.
The breathing, really? What was the hardest part? Tell me.
Well, because the technique is opposite to how we breathe normally. When you breathe in, you bring your stomach in, and when you breathe out, you exhale and your stomach comes out. With this technique, you're supposed to inhale and expand, and then exhale and contract.
It's because we have lungs and diaphragm. How do you say that? Diaphragm.
Diaphragm.
So
diaphragm, that G is useless in there. Forget about it. Diaphragm.
Diaphragm. Okay. So the thing is, we usually use lungs to breathe, and then you're saying that you did something different.
Yeah, we were breathing with our diaphragm. That's exactly what it is. And so that really, it does give you a bit of a head rush. So I don't know if it's really like clarifying thoughts so much as, and then
did you get dizzy? Because I feel like sometimes if I do the breathing like really real quick and like, really fast, like in and out, inhale and exhale, I feel very dizzy. But at the same time, I learned when I was in New York with Gabrielle Bernstein at the Spirit Junkie Masterclass.
She's fabulous.
Yes, she is. And she was teaching us to do like that. You should like leave your arms like really straight like that, but I'll do like that just so you can see. And you should do like this with your hand. Can you explain so people that are following us with the audio, they understand?
What do you mean like this? So what you're doing with your arms is holding them straight up into a V formation whilst your thumbs are in a thumbs up position. So tip your thumbs up in towards your head and reach your arms up into a V. From the V position, breathe in.
I love when you do that.
Quickly, bring your arms down very quickly towards your sides and tuck your elbows into your waist.
Well, but this is what you do on your technique. Gabrielle didn't tell us to do that. She just said, keep your arms like that and keep doing the in and out, inhale and exhale real quick. And there was a name for it. Oh, the ego eradicator. She was
eradicator.
Yeah, ego eradicator. This was the name of the technique. And doing this for, I don't know, maybe a minute or something with their arms like that, doing like this, and inhale and exhale.
Thumbs inside.
Woo.
There's It's also called a power pose.
Power pose. Oh, power pose is like this, right? Like Superwoman.
Yeah. And there's that, like, you can also use arms up or.
Oh, that's the same. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So apparently, this will eradicate your ego, and yeah, give you more oxygen. Like bring more oxygen to your brain, because when you breathe like this, as I understand, I'm not the expert here, but as I understand, you're bringing more oxygen to your brain, which means that you are going to have more focus and be more present and more aware about your thoughts, about how you react to things. And I think that the good thing about, learning how to breathe properly and to meditate is that first you become more present. So this is the best thing. But the consequence of it is that you are not so reactive to things. Like if someone says something that makes you really mad, or, your first reaction would just say something, maybe swear or just be very aggressive. But once you're present, you think before you give the reaction. So you start to be more in charge of how you want to behave. So yeah, that's a real benefit, I think.
Because I was wondering how breathing was going to affect the ego. But I see where it does. It's because your reactive state is often where your ego lies, and that's where you're fighting a lot of the time, is because you haven't had a chance to breathe through it. Your ego is like, this is how things are supposed to be, and that you're mad it's not that thing. But when you're breathing, you're giving yourself more time to react, and that's when your ego can take a break. Okay, all right,
makes sense.
Yeah.
Once you go through the thought process, yeah, it makes sense. And I think that the more we do that, the more we really wake up. Like, let's talk about awakening. Yeah, I mean, we cannot go through a conversation without talking about it, right?
That's what we have in common and think is really cool.
I mean, it's magic. Like, why not? Life's supposed to be magical, so let's do magic. By the way, would you have any tips for magic? Because I know you like crystals. You like few things like tarot cards. I'd like to know more about it. Would you share some magic tips with us?
Oof, I don't even know where to start.
You have pendulums.
I have pendulums. I cannot work them for the life of me. Dowsing, I don't think dowsing is my calling.
Well, trying. You're on it at least. Like, some people don't even know how it works. I mean, it can be new for many people. So.
Absolutely. I mean, I think I started with oracle cards. And so an oracle card is similar to a tarot card, which I think most people are familiar with. But tarot cards have a good and a bad. So there's often a positive and a negative. With oracle cards, there's no negative. We're not doing that. And so I started there because they just, even if it's not a message from magical things, it still will give you a different perspective on whatever your ailment is at the time, whatever you're worried about or concerned about or asking about. And it normally is just, take a step back and see what the best option is.
Yeah.
But I like that the cards will give you just some direction. And I find like there's one deck that I have where I pull the same card every single time. And we laugh about it because I've done it before. When we were together, I pulled the same card. I did it again a couple weeks ago. Like, for whatever reason, like that message is still, replaying.
Like shaking you, Heather, come on. Look at me. I'm giving you tips. Like, do this with your life. And you're like, okay, the same card, whatever. Can I get another one? No, you cannot. You need to go through this first.
Can I get another one?
Yeah, maybe at the subconscious part of it, like, oh, come on, this card again. Like, okay, I heard you. Like, let's move on. But no, you have to go on first.
Life is cyclical, and you have to go over it again and again until you get it right.
Yeah.
As a side note to the listeners, if they would like to go over this again and again for listening practice, you may do that as well.
Yes. How can they do this?
This podcast will be available on YouTube, where you're watching it now, and as well on inamara.com/podcast on all of your favorite listening apps, iTunes, Spotify,
Everywhere.
You can find your favorite one there.
Yeah.
So cycles. That's what we're learning. I think you and I, even, the day-to-day cycle, the month-to-month cycle, our lady cycles. And I think what's interesting about cycling is that you never get it perfect, but you can get it better.
I like it. Say that again. You can never get it perfect, but you can always get it better. This is going to be a good quote for an Instagram post.
All right. Yeah.
So how did this quote came up for you? Like, how did you realize that?
Well, you see, Ina, I was doing my dishes again.
Oh, dishes.
The dishes, just washing the dishes.
Everyday thing. Okay.
Everyday thing. And I realized that I'm getting better at doing the dishes. Listen, this is where my inspiration comes from, okay? So I have a small dishwasher and a small sink, and in my mind, the most efficient thing to do is use all the dishes, put them in the sink. Once you run out of dishes, put them in the dishwasher, wash them, and then start again.
Okay.
Now, most people use their dishes, wash them, and put them back. And so you never go through them all.
Me.
Yeah, you.
Okay.
And so I just started maneuvering the situation a little bit better. And so instead of waiting for the full sink of dishes, I would just start putting the dirty ones in this dishwasher, because I find dishes monotonous. It's something like we have to get them out, we use them every day, we eat off them, we clean them, we put them away. And that
this is life, honey.
Boring to me. I know it's life, but it's an absolute bore. And so that's why I've been thinking about it, because when I'm doing it, I'm like, this is so boring. How can I not do this?
But I have a trick for it. Whenever I go to cook or to do the dishes, because I realized that once I started to deal with the kitchen in a more peaceful way, things started to get better here. So, for example, I wasn't cooking properly for the last few months. I was really always in a hurry and, not looking after my health, and it wasn't the way how I wanted it to be. So I decided, okay, peace. I love your kitchen. How can I make our moments, to be more pleasant and to be more, I don't know, joyous? Like, I want to be here. I want to do things, but it's not working. So how can we, make peace? So I have now two alternatives. First alternative is when I am with my husband, he's helping me. So if I'm cooking, he's washing the dishes. Like, we are hanging out. Like, it's a moment for us during the day, to talk about how was our day and to do things together. So we were not doing it much, but it's an excuse for us. Oh, let's do the dinner, or let's prepare something. Oh, do you want to try this seasoning and see if it needs more salt or something? So it's more fun to have company and prepare things together. So this is the first thing, because if someone is cooking, the other is doing the dishes, so nobody's overwhelmed with experience. But the second part is that if he's not there, so I cannot depend on someone to make my life in the kitchen better. So if he's not there, now I take this moment to learn. And this is where it comes mind valley. So I've been learning so much about self-development, brain, sleep, health, everything, because whenever I'm in the kitchen, I leave my mobile, at the window that is, in front of me. When I'm washing the dishes, I have my mobile there, and I'm going through new information I'm learning, or even on YouTube, I go and get something to learn. And I always tell my students, whenever you want to do your listening training or, study and hear something in English, this is the perfect moment. You are doing the dishes, you're cooking, you are walking the dog, you are at a treadmill, you are at the traffic, you can always get the moment that could be boring or dead and add something to listen to and something that will make you grow and make the moment to be more fulfilling. So now, kitchen moment, that could be washing dishes or cooking. I have my mobile there, or sometimes even my computer, and even I just plug my AirPods, and then I'm just like going up and down doing things and learning things. And trust me, it's been so much more pleasure or pleasant. So maybe we could go and try, like give it a go. I mean, it doesn't have to be like this. You can like have a song or watch a movie. I don't know, just whatever you can add to that moment, because that moment needs to happen. You need to eat. So you're not going to be ordering food all the time. Like you can, but not ideal.
You gotta make it.
You gotta make your own food. Like you need to eat, and if you can do it, in a healthier way, and look after your body and look after your health, that's plus. And if you're cooking, therefore you're having dishes. Like it's a consequence.
It's a vicious cycle.
Get over it. It's gonna happen. This is life, but maybe we can think about ways to make it more pleasant.
More pleasant. I listen to music normally when I'm doing, cooking or anything in the kitchen, but I feel like it's I'm good if I stay in there. Do you know what I mean? If I have something cooking, then I can wait for that to cook, and then I clean up over here and I tossle all this stuff. Yeah. But if I have the opportunity to walk away, like put it in the oven and walk away, I can just leave it and forget about it.
So lock yourself in the kitchen then.
Yeah, that's kind of the new rule. And so last weekend I was trying to meal prep in this whole efficiency of life type thing. And so, I made a big salad and I did a lasagna, and then I was like, oh, good for me. And then it lasted like 4 days. And then I didn't realize I had to do it all over again. And so that's part of the cycle that's getting better. And it wasn't perfect. But at least I'm trying to, cycle and make more meal prep and get that going. And so that's where my cycle theory came from. Was that, people try to do things perfectly, and this is how I'm going to live my life now. And like, that's not realistic. Your change starts so gradual that you barely know you're doing it. And then all of a sudden
it comes down to habits. It's always that.
Yeah. You are the sum of your
habits. We always have, it's a non-ending process. We always have to work on our habits. But the earlier you understand how your cycles work and what gives you more energy and how your body works, the easier the rest is going to unfold. Because it's true, like I wasn't really looking after my health properly, I have to say, and I have to go back to this point like over and over again, because it doesn't matter, like if I want to be productive, if I want to be creative, if I want to be helpful for my students, if I want, to come and have ideas and do podcasts with you and do things, if I want to do and really live an extraordinary life, this machine needs to work properly. I cannot, I can't live without being healthy. So okay, I made peace with it already. I understood it, and I hope, I don't know how long that's gonna last. I hope it lasts
forever.
Yeah, but I understand now. And it's funny, like I just understand now, because I had to leave, a moment where I didn't have health to realize, oh, actually I need more carrots. My mom used to tell me this all the time, but I didn't listen to her. But that's fine. I'm 35. I can still learn. But yeah, without health, you cannot function properly. You cannot have memory. You cannot be creative. You cannot be, good with your emotions. Your emotions go up and down if you have gluten inside your body. If you have, if you're eating shit, you're not going to be able to function. You get out what you put in. That's the rule.
So, I mean, and I agree with you too. I think that it's now as a 35-year-old lady, I think that my end goal is to be an 80
You're not 35. You're 34.
34. I just count in fives. It's so much easier.
Right.
And then when I'll be 35 till I'm about 37, and then I'll switch to 40.
Great. Loved it.
That's how my math works. And so I realized, like, I want to be an 80-year-old woman who can do a downward dog. I want to be able to do yoga at that age because I think movement is so fulfilling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so
you're pretty much into movement. You like to dance. Like, you are this kind of person. If you don't have that, I think you're gonna really miss that. So yeah.
Well,
in your life.
There was a time when I didn't have dance and movement, and it made me very sad. And so when you don't have it, that's how you know, like, you need it back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, where was I going with that?
Someone is saying here, Heather, I love your guitar with beautiful plants. I saw it in your Instagram. I loved it.
Well, thank you very much. I can't play the guitar, but I hope.
It looks good in the background.
Well, it looks good, and I'm hoping that those vines will bloom. That's the idea. For those of you who can't see, behind me, I have a guitar that is pink hanging on the wall. And right below it is a morning glory plant. And when I wasn't paying attention, the plant grew up the strings of the guitar and then grew leaves. And so I couldn't pull the vine out of the guitar. And so now that's where that lives.
Is it pink?
Yeah, it's pink.
I couldn't tell by only by the camera. You're so creative. Like, you wouldn't live in a place there is no color,
No, that's the reason I got the guitar. I think it's so beautiful.
And you need plants. And Heather already danced samba here in Brazil when she came with Ina, or marked some musical rhythm that you liked. Can you answer that? Does that make sense to you? Like, did you have the chance to dance some samba? Well, you went to the carnival, to the parade.
Yeah, so we did a bit of dancing there. I also play a doumbek, which is a more traditional drum that's quite small. And I decided that it was very important to bring that drum to Brazil with me. And I played my drum there for a little bit while I visited. Speaking of rhythm.
So exotic.
No, we didn't do too much dancing, and I feel like that was a bit of a missed opportunity, and I hope to do more dancing next time I come, because I had been watching all of the carnival dances in like there's little routines for all of the popular Brazilian songs.
You mean funk music? Because they have like a certain way to dance, like a choreography. This one, you mean?
Yeah, that was my favorite. And so I learned a bunch of dances just in case I needed them, having them on deck. And so we didn't end up using any of those dances, but I still know them. And that's how I learned some very dirty Portuguese words.
What can we do? I wish I could show you, a different part of Brazil, but this is what we are. And actually, I like those kind of music. I mean, depending on the situation, like if you are in a party or something, it's fun. It's fun. I mean, some of them, they're really dirty and like a bit too much. But some of them, they're quite fun. Like, lift your spirits.
The thing for me was that I didn't know any of the words. So I just picked songs that I liked based on like the rhythm and maybe how someone said a word. And then when I found out, I was talking to Kaiser, and Kaiser is one of the other teachers. And so he was like, "Oh, Heather, this is what the words are. And this is your favorite part."
Whoops.
Oh, okay. Maybe don't sing it out super loud, huh?
Good to know. If there are kids around, I may not sing it.
Okay, we have another question from YouTube, and it says, Heather, what is your favorite music artist? That's tricky. I can't choose just one.
Oh, I know. The girl you were saying, she's a rapper.
Rapper?
not a rapper, but you always talk, sing her song, and you were showing me when you were in the traffic. I have here on my playlist.
All
This
right.
is so you, and I keep listening to it, and it always reminds me of you. She's not a rapper.
Is it Florence and the Machine? Because I do love Florence.
No, she sings about feminine energy and having good vibes. I have it. I'm gonna prove it to you.
Oh, I do know what I sent you. I mean, I only learned. What's that?
Lizzie Jeff.
Oh, Lizzie Jeff, yes. Because she does sing about crystals. I forgot about her songs. Those are-
How did you forget about her? She's so you. Lizzie
she is
Jeff.
so me. Her music is it's like positive affirmations to music. And so I'm somebody who always has a song running in my head. And so when you get a song like that says nice things about yourself and you hum that all day, it's like a nice meditation and a reminder of I'm grateful, I'm thankful, I've got my crystal in my bra.
I've got a crystal in my bra. Let's just sing that.
I don't know. That's the main gist of it.
It's funny because sometimes I keep crystals on my bra. So this is what's like, oh, is that song?
Yeah, where else are you going to put them?
Incredible. Listen, I've just seen here a message that I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Like, can you read it out loud? I cannot.
It's Lydia says, Kaiser is our Viking, Heather is our mermaid, and Ina is our mom.
I'm good. I got the mom feeling. Like, thank you. And it's positive, but it's funny.
You're the nurturing one, and then you've got your crazy aunt and uncle.
Isn't it interesting? I mean, it's so true. I mean, yes, Kaiser is a Viking. Yes, you are our mermaid. What can I do? And yes, I am their mother. Like, I'm all the time, come on, little ones, let's go to study. Like, you can do it, and nurturing them with lots of love. What can I do? It's true. I loved it. Loved it, Lydia. Very funny.
I like that one. It's true because you know what? The students have a challenge. I think it's today, and it's all about swimming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's gone out yet, but it's to talk about who likes swimming because I'm doing a poll and I want to see how many people are into swimming because I know you're not a big swimmer, and for personal research, I gotta know.
Well, who else would come to Brazil and bring first drums, second a fin? I mean, this is totally like random. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really wasn't expecting. Like, oh, zip up. Like, here's my drum. I'm like, okay. Did you you have a certain amount of things you can bring, on an international transatlantic flight. And usually, you have a specific amount of kilos and space in your bag, like, and you decided like, not bringing this shirt or these shoes. No, I'm bringing my drums and my fin. Like, you decided it. It was a decision.
It was a decision. Not only that, so I had a drum that was probably about 2 feet tall by maybe 8 inches wide. And then I had an ergonomic pillow because I was having neck issues at the time. So I had to put the pillow into the drum. And then the fin is called a mono fin. So it's like a flipper for swimming, but there's just one of them with 2 feet holes. And
So funny.
it may be embarrassing for some people, but sometimes you just got to swim with your fin in a waterfall in Brazil.
If you want to do it properly, just follow the rules.
So, I mean, in hindsight, I wish I had brought in the rest of the tail so it wasn't just the fin. We really should have leaned into it. But I think I was feeling a little bit shy during photo shoot day.
Well, next time we have to go to a proper waterfall, a proper swimming pool, so we have more space to go faster, because the fall that we went, it wasn't, I think there wasn't enough space for you to do all your choreographies, and
there wasn't. No, it was shallow.
Yeah. Next time we go to a deep river so you can bring all your mermaid that lives in you.
That'll be fun. We'll make sure we can get cameras underwater. It'll be a good day.
Absolutely. I think next time you come to Brazil, we have to go to the Northeast because, well, we may have other places to do that. But when I've been there a few years ago, I had the chance to, you can go scuba diving. I mean, I wasn't going too deep because I don't know how to swim and you have to use different equipment. So I was only using that mask, that goes on your face. I don't know the name that you use with the, what's the name?
It's a snorkel.
Snorkel, exactly. Yeah, in Portuguese it's more or less the same thing. Perfect. So I was only like swimming at the surface, like not going too deep, but it was enough to see very colorful fishes and corals. And yeah, we went to take a boat and it brings you somewhere that is like, I don't know, I'm gonna guess maybe not too deep. Okay. 5-6 meters.
Okay, you can see the bottom.
You can see the bottom. So it's like, it's deep, but not that deep. But the water is very clear and you can see it's so colorful there and enough for you to do whatever a mermaid do. So yeah.
yeah, let's do that. That sounds great.
Next time. Can't wait. Okay, any other questions? Jason was asking, how's the pandemic in your country? And Heather was talking exactly about this at the beginning of this episode. So I highly recommend that you go back to the beginning, either here on our video or on our audio, the podcast. She was talking exactly about it.
Yeah.
And Heather, so maybe you don't know Brasilia, capital of Brazil. One question: would you like to know Brasilia?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Why not? I have been there once actually, but it was real quick, only for meetings, so I didn't really see the city. And last one, someone was asking about here. Have you met a celebrity in Ottawa? Have you ever met any celebrity?
Yeah, I've met a few celebrities actually. Let's see. When I lived in Toronto, there's a music station. At the time they did videos, so it would be, you would watch music videos all day on this station, and sometimes they would do interviews with people and whatnot. And so I remember going to one, and it was called Intimate and Interactive. So the artist would come in and they would have like a semi-stage kind of thing, and the artist would do some acoustic stuff, and then they'd have people stand around. And they were like, oh, do you want to ask a question to Sheryl Crow? And I was like, oh yeah, I do want to talk to Sheryl Crow. That'd be great. And so they gave me the question that they wanted me to ask her, and it was, how do you stay hot at 40? Which I think is a terribly rude thing to ask someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you ask that, or did you make up another one?
I changed it to be not rude.
Yeah.
And, I think I asked
I'm
her.
sure you did. I mean, I was just asking, but I'm sure you wouldn't really ask that.
No, I think it's so rude. And so I asked her like how she stayed fit, or like, stayed so healthy at her age, or whatever, like something not rude. So that was kind of cool. And then I was on TV and stuff. And I also met, I don't know if anyone has heard of Schitt's Creek.
I haven't.
No? Okay. It's a Canadian show, and they've done a few seasons. It's very popular. They just won a bunch of, I think, Emmys. Mm-hmm. And it was written and created by this guy, Dan Levy. And his dad is Eugene. He's a very famous actor. So they're both fairly prominent people. And back when I was in university, I went to a fashion course. And so when Fashion Week was in Toronto, they would get fashion students to come in and do, I was a fashion police at this one event. There, you have a stupid outfit and you hand out programs.
Of course you were.
Yeah, perfect. And so I was there, and at the time, Dan Levy was hosting a show called The Hills After Show. Mm-hmm. And so The Hills was one of the very first reality shows. And my opinion of it was not high. for whatever reason, I wasn't into it. And so I thought that the Hills after show was just the dumbest thing. Because why would I watch a show where people talk about their feelings and then watch another show where people talk about the people who talked about their feelings?
Nonsense.
I do that all the time now, and it's very normal. But I thought it was dumb, and that was my opinion at the time. So put a pin in that and come back to me working at Fashion Week. I was with a girl from my program who, I won't say we were friends, but she was talking to Dan Levy and the other host of this show. And of course, I wouldn't recognize them because I don't watch the show. And so she was like, oh, hey, Heather, you have some opinions on this show. Come over and tell us. And so I walked over and I said, oh, hey, yeah, I think it's a dumb show. I don't like this. I don't understand why they're doing this. What a gong show. And as I was speaking, I recognized the girl from the show. And I was, oh.
What a situation.
Foot in mouth. And so.
Was this live?
Oh, no, this was just at a party. It was
okay, yeah. Okay.
No one recorded that. Thank goodness. So
Thank God.
that was the other famous person that I met.
What a situation to meet someone famous. Like, oh, awkward.
Just such a jerk. Such a jerk.
Well, but at least you have had a chance to meet someone famous. So, yeah, not many people have this chance. So, congratulations for that.
Yeah, great. Oops.
Oh,
okay,
gosh.
we have time for one more question or two.
Perhaps one more, because we're already over an hour. And let's see. I heard. Well, I don't know why they are asking if you've been to Mexico. Have you?
I have been to Mexico.
Have you? How was your experience there?
Great. I've always enjoyed Mexico.
How many times? Many times?
Yeah, quite a few times.
Oh, nice.
It's very easy.
Cancun?
Sorry?
Cancun?
Yeah, Cancun was the first place we went. I think my family went together for March break when I was about 13. And
What is it? March break? A break in March?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Is it something in Canada, like you always have a March break?
Yeah. Oh, I
Okay.
didn't know that was weird. Yeah, so we it's for kids at school. They
Okay.
get a break in the middle of their first semester for Christmas. They need a break in March.
Oh, interesting. We don't have a March break. We have Carnival. That's our break. So it's a big break. So, and it's
so much-
average in March. So.
And like Carnival is for adults to enjoy every year. March break is really just for like students and kids.
Oh, but they do have Carnival for kids too. Like kids, they dress up. Remember, I was recording a video for you here in my condominium. There were kids, dressed up like in different costumes, and it's like almost like Halloween. Of course, adults know how to party, but you can also have party for kids during Carnival. Yeah.
Yeah, so we went during March break, and I think Americans call it spring break.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first time in Cancun. And then I've had like destination weddings around there. So there's a few places we've been.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a very nice country to visit. I've always had fun.
New question here for you.
It says, I heard that you have a video learning Portuguese. Where is this video? I would like to watch. Yes, I do have a video learning Portuguese, and I have a few other that I'm still working on. So they are on my YouTube channel, and you can just search Heather Playford, all one word, and you'll find that.
Heather Playford, just like her name is written here. So just find Heather Playford on YouTube, and you'll find her lovely videos. We want to see more videos from you, Heather.
Sure. Like and subscribe them all.
Like and subscribe and hit the bell.
And hit the bell. I have to work on my editing skills. I think that might be my next week's activity.
Well, editing, it's a never-ending progress as well. Like I've been editing my videos for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, and I'm still learning. Trust me, I'm not the best editor, like, in the world. But once you start doing it, we get better and better. And
just learned the hotkeys last week, which has been a real game changer.
What did you learn last week?
The hotkeys. So instead of, you can just click here to cut and move this up.
Oh yeah, this is important to cut things like
yeah, tips and tricks.
Main thing. And that's the only thing I know how to do. Cut, put them together, cut, and yeah, basics. And add something written. That's all. Nice. So yeah, I think this is it. How was it? Our 4th episode.
We've done it. Yay. I think it went pretty well. And so anybody who wants to listen to this again, you know what to do. Go to inamara.com/podcast, where you can find all of our links together in a row. And also you can view this again on YouTube at your leisure.
So there is a playlist. You can go through our episodes. Today is our 4th, and we do intend to continue it and, bring you more episodes for the next few weeks. So remember, you can always be here with us live every Friday at 12:34. It's amazing because you can interact. You can put here you can bring your questions and comment on whatever Heather is saying. And yeah, it's fun. I like the live interaction. I really like it. So if you have the chance to come and watch us live, please come every Friday, 12:34. But if you can't, don't worry. You can always watch this video again on YouTube or listen to it as much as you want on our podcast, inamara.com/podcast. Thank you, honey. It was a pleasure as usual.
You too. Enjoy the weather.
Enjoy the weather too. And I see you next week on How's the Weather with Ina and Heather. Love you. See you next week. Bye.